Mr Speaker, I move that Eric Wilbur Roy be appointed Deputy Speaker.
While you, Mr Speaker, played on the right wing for the parliamentary rugby team and showed some sidesteps and subtlety, Mr Roy, both on the rugby field and the House, has not been known for that. He and I played in the tight forwards, and I don't think I've ever seen him do a sidestep or avoid taking a hard issue on directly.
Mr Speaker, I move that William Lindsay Tish be appointed Assistant Speaker. Unlike Mr Roy, he's unlikely to have been a front row forward, but nonetheless has managed to avoid any obvious confrontations in his time as a as a presiding officer. Mr Speaker, if there was one disappointment I might personally express about all of this, is that Mr Tish has been the chair of the Parliamentary Catering Committee, and I'd have to suggest that there's been relatively few improvements under his watch. But then again, I do have an extra couple of notches poured in on my belt, so I congratulate him for that. Mr Speaker, I move that Harold Valentine Ross Robertson be appointed Assistant Speaker. And I'm sure new members will come to enjoy, just as those who have returned enjoy, the hearty afternoon greeting, good afternoon and kia ora to you all, which regularly comes from Ross when he takes the chair. It will also be interesting to see over this term whether or not he can come up with some interesting new fashion combinations. We've enjoyed over the years the array of scarves that he has managed to produce and wear with a certain fetching panache.
I somewhat reluctantly rise to support this nomination because I think members opposite will understand that occasionally Mr Robertson feels that it's really important to show his independence from his party, and I think it's sometimes he is harder, sometimes much harder on the opposition than he is in the government. While the expression that the Leader of the House has used is one which has been commonly used in the House by Ross Robertson, it's not his most memorable one. There were a few members of our caucus who were left from the period when he was first a member, when the caucus was in some trouble, disarray. 87 to 90 was not the best of times, and I think it's long enough now to let members know his classic expression when the government was running into trouble. He said, "This government has too many balls in the fire."
It is with humility that I gratefully accept the honour that you, my parliamentary colleagues, have offered me to serve this House as one of your presiding officers. This is a place where continuous streams of ideas are tested. It is like a river that flows from bank to bank, so that its true potential is realised for all.
Mr Speaker, I'm sure all members will go into the long recess contemplating what a river that didn't flow from bank to bank might look like.